Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am coming to you with my post-warm reviews of the 10 new release fragrances for Scentsy for fall winter 2021-22. So these are 10 brand new fragrances that will be released August 1st, and I must say there's not one here that I am not immensely fond of. I've melted them all at least twice in different types of warmers, and I'll come to you today with my thoughts. Before we get going, I did want to mention that there are still clearance items on my website, and this is the Stone Leaf Warmer, and he is made of stoneware, so he's quite heavy and quite sizable. And let me tell you, this little fellow throws very well. He is $35 in the clearance section, and I would recommend that you skedaddle on over there and pick him up, because this is a very beautiful warmer and a very potent little warmer. He does his job. So I'm going to back him up just a tad and we can get started on these 10 fragrances. So first of all, we have Harvest Blessings, and this is apple, spiced pumpkin, and oak. Oh, this is gorgeous. So it's a beautiful blend of the apple and the spiced pumpkin. It's creamy. The spices are mild, like baking spices, not in your face. And the oak is, it's blended such that you really do get the oak. So if you like woody fragrances, this blends beautifully with the apple and the pumpkin. I love this. Long lasting. It's a pretty burnt orange wax. So love this one. Harvest Blessings. Next up we have Cinnamon Buttercream, and I think this one is being greatly anticipated by many people. Pretty light brown beige wax. So when I first warmed this a few weeks ago, it was immensely light, but I'm happy to say I melted it again yesterday to make some more samples for my customers, and it has really improved with a bit of curing. You know, like anything else, if you get these clamshells when they've been freshly poured, it may not really be representative of the throw that we'll get once it's had an opportunity to rest and get those oils well integrated with the wax. So this is doing much better. It was about a 6 to a 7 in my kitchen, and it lasted about 8 hours. I would say it faded over time. It was not at a 6 at the finish. It was more like a 4, but it probably will continue as it ages to improve. But it is beautiful, certainly present, and that is a big room. My kitchen leads into the living room. The airflow is pretty brisk in there, so yeah, I'd say it's doing quite well. It is more than adequate, and it smells beautiful. So the notes on this one are Italian bergamot, mascarpone, and cinnamon cake. And yes, it's not overly sweet. So you do get a kind of a cake note. You get baking cinnamon. It's not red hot cinnamon, and you get that lovely buttercream. This is gorgeous. I think it stands alone well, and it'll also be a good blender. So that's cinnamon buttercream. Next we have Spiced Ember Glow, and yes, this is, if you like your smoky charred scents, this one will be for you. I happen to love that. So this is apple, vanilla, and cinnamon embers. This is more of a red hot cinnamon, although it isn't overpowering. What is strong here is the charred note. So I do mention other vendors sometimes. This is kind of similar to the Bathing Garden charred jack-o'-lantern. It is that intensity of char. You do get the apple, and you do get a creaminess from the vanilla. I think this is absolutely beautiful, but you have to love that burnt ember smell. So it is long lasting. This was about a medium, maybe 7 to 8 in the living room, which is a large room, and it lasted quite well. So that's Spiced Ember Glow. Again, that's for those of you who are the charred lovers. Next up we have Cashmere and Corduroy, and this one really surprised me. Normally when I hear the words cashmere or corduroy, I'm going to run. Those are not typically my preferred scents just for my nose, but this is beautiful. So the notes are Italian bergamot again. Two of these have the Italian bergamot, so that's a popular ingredient this winter. Vanilla and cashmere sandalwood. So, oh, this is so creamy and lightly perfumey, comforting. It smells like you have on the most beautiful corduroy slacks that you own, and they're comfortable, and it's a little bit cottony, a little bit fragrant. This is earthy and perfumey and beautiful. So I love this, and I was quite surprised. This had a quick throw. It rallied immediately. This was about a 7 to 8 in a bedroom, and this was long lasting. So I love this. And again, not normally my scent preference, and it really won me over. That's cashmere and corduroy. Here we have Scarlet Sunflower, and wow, this one, you have to love that sunflower note. I think this is beautiful. So the notes are apple, cranberry, and sunflower. Now on cold, this smells like concentrated apple juice with a floral note in the background, but when you warm it, you get that apple for about the first hour, and then the sunflower note takes over. So for the duration, it's more of a floral. Cranberry is there just to add a little bit of tartness and character, but I would never have identified cranberry per se in this blend. I think this is gorgeous. It was a 7 to 8 in a bedroom. It was long lasting, and again, if you like the sunflower note, and here comes the sunflowers from this past season, you will love this. Long lasting, nice and strong, and beautiful. Predominantly floral for most of its tenure. Here's a favorite of mine. This is Eucalyptus wreath, and this is described as eucalyptus, juniper, and fresh mint. This is beautiful. So you know how eucalyptus can sometimes be nose clearing. This is not like that. It is beautifully blended. So it's kind of like Bath & Body Works eucalyptus mint. I also detect rosemary in here, and that may just be my nose. I think this is a beautiful blend. This was nice and strong, 8 to a 9 in the bedroom. Lasted a long time, very long lasting. I let this one go into a second day. I adore this. So I need to smell this. Oh, it's beautiful. You know, sometimes that eucalyptus can take over, but here it is beautifully blended. So you get that fresh mint and the juniper and the eucalyptus all speaking, but none of them taking over the conversation. Fabulous. Here we have Tinsel berry. This is kind of a cousin to snowberry. So this one really surprised me because on cold, the notes, first of all, are strawberry, cranberry, and cinnamon. And it is kind of a red hot cinnamon. However, this, it turned into something gorgeous when it was warming. So you do get the strawberry, then the cranberry is very present when it's warming, nice and tart, and then the cinnamon is there, and it blends to make something new and lovely. I was really impressed. I didn't care for it on cold, but it made a believer out of me, and I really enjoyed it. So it is kind of like snowberry without the mint. You know, snowberry has that mint in it. This is long lasting, about a 7 to 8 in the bedroom, and long lasting. So again, that is Tinsel berry, sweet, tart, and lightly red hot spiced. Our last three. So this one is he makes me happy. Graham Cracker Crunch. So I'm laughing because this is a powerhouse. For about the first hour, this thing will blow you out of the house. I had, for one session of melting, I had tea lights in different rooms. And when I put this in the kitchen, it took over the entire house. This is a powerhouse. Doesn't last, at least for me. After about an hour, this thing dropped off the cliff. Couldn't smell it at all anymore. But I don't know that I would want this beautiful and fun scent forever, you know, in the house. It is quite striking. So the notes are graham cracker, peanut butter, and vanilla. Now, on cold, I get the peanut butter. When it's warmed, to me, this is very much like a graham cracker crust that you've just pressed into the pie tin. There's a buttery note. This is spectacular. I love it. And again, it just makes me smile. I enjoy this. I think this will blend with sweet plum pastry and give it that pastry note that may not be strong enough. This with sweet plum pastry I think will be awesome. But it stands on its own for about an hour, and then it drops off. Lots of fun. 10 out of 10, 15 out of 10 for the first hour in strength. So that's Graham Cracker Crunch. Next up, and this guy surprised me no end. Blue Sage and Tonka. When I melted this the first time, maybe 3 weeks ago, oh, it was so light. I just couldn't smell it at all, and I was really disappointed. But it has cured, and now I'm really liking it. So the notes are blue sage, and blue sage is its own oil. It is described as green amber and musky citrus. So yes, you do get a kind of an amber. You get a little bit of a perfumey note, and there is a citrus, and there is a musky note. There is midnight lavender. I don't know what midnight has to do with it, but the lavender finally came through. I couldn't smell the lavender for the first couple weeks of trying to melt this, but there it is. It is not an overly sweet lavender. It isn't an astringent herbal lavender, kind of middle of the road sort of lavender. Very pleasing. And then the light sweet creaminess from the tonka bean. So, oh, this is beautiful. It's a little bit earthy, a little bit citrus, and a little bit comforting. Really like this, and it just needed some cure time. So I enjoy this very much. Blue Sage and Tonka. And last but not least, we have Pomegranate Prosecco. I really enjoy this. It is lightly fizzy. The scent notes are raspberry, pomegranate, and Prosecco. So you get the sweetness from the raspberry. I wouldn't say I identified raspberry in it. Pomegranate is the dominant note, so you all know what that smells like. And then the Prosecco is giving a lightly sweet fizziness to it. Just a little bit of effervescence, not a ton. I love this. It was a 6 to a 7 out of 10 in my kitchen / living room because I had 1 cube in each. And it was good and long lasting, very steady, a good steady. It won't blow you out of the house, but it is always present and nice and steady. I love this, and that's Pomegranate Prosecco. So, to me, these are outstanding. Our perfumers are doing a beautiful job. Again, Pomegranate Prosecco, fruity and fizzy. Graham Cracker Crunch, gorgeous, blow you out of the house for about an hour. Tinselberry, cousin to Snowberry. Eucalyptus wreath, so that's one of my favorites. Really nicely blended, not nose clearing, but fresh and lovely. Scarlet Sunflower, you have to like that sunflower note, and it is lightly sweetened. Cashmere and Corduroy is another favorite of mine. Beautiful, comforting, lightly perfumey. Blue Sage and Tonka, to me, was the sleeper here. I came to quite enjoy that. Earthy, mildly lavender, and somewhat creamy. Cinnamon Buttercream, beautiful. I hope it continues to gain in strength, but a lovely, not overly sweet, creamy baking cinnamon. Harvest Blessings, this is lovely with the oak note, apple and pumpkin. And Spiced Ember Glow for those of you who must have your charred scents. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I do have more scratch and sniff sample sets, which I prepared for people who were asking. So if you would like a scratch and sniff sample set of these 10 fragrances, please let me know. I will be happy to send them to you. I'll put my email in the description box down below. I am an independent Scentsy consultant, and I'm glad to help you with any questions or orders you might want to discuss. Thank you so much for watching. Really excited for these, and I hope you will be too. Take care, hug your families, and until next time, bye for now.